Hey y'all! It's Tuesday and that means it's live stream night round here. We are not doing another theorist tonight because I've had a seriously busy week and weekend. And I usually kind of put like my talking points for these broadcasts together on the weekend, but we had Remembrance Day ceremonies and get-togethers to attend because we're a military family, and party prep to do because my oldest son Logan turned 4 today, which is simultaneously making me really proud and feel really old. This time, no. Okay, that's not true because I had him in Edmonton. I was going to say that this time 4 years ago, I had just left for the hospital, but we were 2 time zones back, so there's still another 2 hours before that particular milestone. Okay, so if you're watching, let me know you're here. I'm just going to make sure that I can both see my comments and that this is going into the parenting posse because I'd hate for someone to miss me because it isn't showing where it's supposed to be. So if you're watching, say hi. Hey, Shannon. Oops. Okay. Oh, Facebook is so slow. Okay, so hello. Say hello if you're watching me. I'm just getting this to go into the parenting posse so that everybody can watch over there with us. Facebook goes so super slow, and I don't know if you guys can hear that, but of course I start a live stream and helicopters start going over my house. We live really close to a military base, so that happens an awful lot, and some of my neighbors are helicopter pilots, so they like to fly over their own homes. Okay. Just gonna make sure this is sharing into the parenting posse, and then we will get going. Facebook likes to make this really slow. Okay, rocking and rolling. Okay, all right, so if we aren't covering another theorist tonight, because I couldn't get my shit together, why am I here in your newsfeed? I wanted to talk about something that's been weighing kind of heavy on me for a little bit here, particularly because I find it keeps coming up in the parenting posse in different contexts, and I've debated bringing attention to it because I kind of feel like a jackass for being like, you're missing the point. But I also operate under the assumption that if you're in my group or if you've liked my page, then you likely want me to point out these things. So here we go. Oh, okay. I need to introduce myself. Okay, before we get into that, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Allana Robinson, and I'm a parenting effectiveness coach and child behavior strategist. I work with parents of infants, toddlers, and preschoolers, helping them implement non-punitive, child-centered, developmentally appropriate behavior management in their homes with their families so that they can raise confident, competent, well-behaved kids. Okay, now I'm going to unload. So, obviously, if you're going into a parenting group, be it on Facebook or otherwise, it's likely because you've got a problem that needs solving. And I totally get that. And I totally support that. That is what my group is there for. But I've noticed a bit of a trend lately, probably because we're starting to grow really quickly and, we're creeping up on 2K members, which is so exciting. So the number of parents who are, intimately acquainted with how we do things is slowly becoming the minority versus the majority as it was. And that's fine. That's on me and that's on us as a community to teach those things. But the trend I'm noticing is this hyper focus on solving these micro problems. And what I mean by micro problems is super specific issues. And okay, so this is why this is bothering me. And now that I'm pointing it out to you, it's going to probably start bothering you too. So there's a little bit of backstory to this. So as you may or may not know, hey Heather, hey Amanda, thanks for being here with me tonight, guys. Okay, so as you may or may not know, I started my career in early intervention. So I did what basically amounted to play therapy with children who had some kind of developmental diagnosis. Everything from, your run-of-the-mill speech delay all the way up to, like, one of my clients had a developmental syndrome that he is one of 3 children in North America with that specific condition. So I dealt with a very wide range of children. And I got kind of a rep for moving difficult kids past big hurdles, which is why I'm here. This is why I have a group and a business and why I do what I do, because I absolutely loved it. And I continue to love it. Like, nothing gives me a thrill deep down in my gut, like seeing something click for a child or click for a parent. I've never been high, but I can't imagine anything feeling better than that feeling. So anyways, I got this reputation, which meant that I often got pulled into other people's clients and asked, what's your take on this? And every single time, I would ask 2 questions. So the first was, what don't they know how to do? And the second was, and how are you teaching them to do that? They sound like really simple questions, right? But let's pull an example from the posse. So a member posted recently looking for suggestions on how to deal with her 5-year-old who's being exceptionally mean and aggressive towards his younger sibling. Pretty simple or pretty typical post that you would find in a parenting group, right? So what does that child not know how to do? And yes, the answer is be nice to his brother. Okay, let's go deeper than that. That's, the problem that's up close. I want you to step back and look at the bigger picture. What don't they know how to do? What is involved in being nice? What skills are they missing? Are they lacking empathy? Are they lacking emotional control? Does it have nothing to do with emotions and they lack impulse control? We need to break it down and drill deeper. What is the problem? What's the actual issue? And it can be all of those things. Very, very rarely do children wrap their behavioral problems up for us in a nice little package with a bow on top so that we can just unwrap it and be like, impulse control, nice and clean cut. It can be any combination of skills, right? Do they not know how to share? Do they not understand turn taking? Are they having difficulty setting firm boundaries? We need to figure out what the problem is. That's step 1. And we do that by observing them, right? By taking notes, by taking videos to document the incidents, by taking pictures. We're so focused on being, super mom, and we're going in guns blazing and I'm going to fix this. But you can't fix something that you haven't defined the problem, right? You can't fix something when you haven't defined the problem. It's like taking your car into the mechanic and being like, there's a banging noise in the rear. And then them giving you a quote to fix it when they haven't heard the bang, they haven't looked under the car, they haven't tried to figure out where the bang is coming from. Banging in the rear, that's $900, please. Like, that would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? So while it's very easy for me to say, what don't they know how to do? The answer isn't usually, easy or quick. Hey, Claudia. Oh, wow. Comments coming fast and furious. Okay. Hey, Janelle. Thanks for joining me tonight. Heather says, teach, teach, teach. Can't say that enough. Yes. Exactly. We want a quick fix. Totally. And okay. So that's question number 1. What don't they know how to do? And as simple as it seems to answer, it usually isn't. Once we figured that out, the second question was, and how are we teaching them to do that? Which again sounds really easy, right? But again, I'd usually get these very simplistic answers. If a child is being aggressive towards their sibling, I'd usually get, well, we've talked about how that hurts people's feelings. We've put him in a timeout. We've taken away the toy the dispute was over. We've told him he won't be allowed to play near his brother if he can't play nice, etc., etc., etc. Can we see the thread that joins all of those things? They're all dealing with this surface problem again. Can you see my hand? Yes, okay. They're all dealing with the surface problem. None of those answers actually answered my question of what are we doing to teach them how to solve the problem. They're all reactions. They're all crappy consequences, right? Not a single one is showing actively what to do. They're all telling them what not to do, and those two things are not the same. Showing them what to do and telling them what not to do are not the same thing. And don't get me wrong, consequences are important, right? Behavior management is important, but it's not enough. It's just not enough. You can manage all of these surface problems till you are blue in the face, and it's still going to keep happening because you didn't solve the problem. You didn't fix the issues down here, the foundational problem that's causing this surface issue. Think of it like a boiling pot, okay? So the bubbles on the surface are the symptoms of the fact that the burner is on, right? You can scoop bubbles off the top and pour ice water in till the cows come home, but it's eventually going to start boiling again because you didn't solve the problem and turn the burner off. So time and time again, I'd go into these meetings and I'd spend my entire time asking questions, narrowing down what the problem was, only to end up saying, so you're not making progress because that goal you wrote doesn't actually address the root issue. That solution you came up with isn't actually solving the actual problem. And time again, that team would come back to me 2, 3, 4, 2 months later, weeks later, saying, thank you, we finally made it over that hump. We're finally making progress. Things are moving forward. You're a miracle worker. And let's get something super clear here. I'm not a miracle worker. I am not a genius. I didn't come up with any of this stuff on my own, okay? I'm just applying what Vygotsky, what Dewey, what Montessori, what Piaget, what Malaguzzi, and Gerber, and Bandura, and Bronfenbrenner, and all this stuff, the whole bloody canon that we've been talking about, came up with. I'm just putting the puzzle together. Oh, there was artillery. I don't know if you guys heard that. Again, we live near a military base. Okay, so because if you can do those two things, if you can figure out what the problem is and then teach them how to solve it, you're golden. You are flying right. So I want us all, and it's a habit we're going to need to develop, and it's, one that's super easy to fall out of when you're tired and stressed and rushed and basically being a mother. But I want us all to get in the habit of stepping back and looking at the bigger picture instead of being so micro-focused on these little tiny symptoms, because otherwise we're going to keep doing this dance. You're going to keep doing this dance. And we're too damn busy to keep putting our efforts into something that's not getting results. Right? We're too damn busy to keep putting the same fire out over and over and over and over again. As parents, we've got more on our plates than any generation before us did. We are too damn busy. And in order for us to enjoy our children more, in order to stop burning ourselves out, in order to get off this hamster wheel, we need to be parenting more effectively and to, more efficiently. And this is how we do that, by getting out of this habit of looking at these teeny tiny little symptoms, which, granted, are crazy making, But if we can step back and look at the bigger picture, we're going to get a lot done a lot faster. Okay, that was a little ranty. Total disclaimer, this isn't aimed at anyone in particular. This isn't a condemnation of the discussions that have been going on in the posse. It's just been kind of niggling at the back of my mind. And I needed to get it out because bottling things up isn't healthy. Hey, Gillis. Hi, Jessica. Claudia says, how do we figure out the main issue? What if the issue is me or my husband? Well, that's very rarely the case, Claudia. It's not usually something that we're doing or not doing. It's usually a lagging skill, right? It's something that they don't know how to do, that they haven't been taught how to do. We expect our kids to pick up these skills by osmosis, and a lot of kids do. But it's like math, right? We don't expect children to kind of come out of the womb and when they hit 5 years old, suddenly be able to add 1 + 1 into 2, right? We teach that. We sit them down and we go, this is 1, this is 1. When you put them together, they're 2. And then we build on that. The problem is that we expect them to pick up these social skills and these behavior skills when we haven't actually ever taught them to them, right? We're not actually looking at what they do or do not know how to do, filtering it down, and then going, okay, so this is where your problem is, just like you would with math, right? Okay, you don't know how to do your 9 times tables, so let's teach you how to do that so that, you know, when I do get to the point of asking you to do calculus, you'll have the foundational stuff there. But we're not doing that with behavior. We're just like continuing to level them up without ever solving the main problem. And that those skills, those foundational skills are called executive functioning skills, right? Those are the foundational tools. Those are the bedrock that building behavior, that children build behavior on, right? And there's 8 of them. Okay, I'm going to try and remember them all off the top of my head, but my working memory is really bad. So working memory is 1, impulse control, emotional control, planning and prioritizing, task initiation, flexible thinking, organization, and always forgetting this one. Emotional control, impulse control, task initiation, self-monitoring is the 8th one. Okay, emotional control, impulse control, working memory, task initiation, planning and prioritizing, organizing, self-monitoring, flexible thinking. Those are the 8 skills that children need. Those are the bedrock skills that they need in order to behave well, in order to be misbehavior proof, right? If they've got those 8 skills down, then they are, you know, they're still going to misbehave, but they're going to be able to correct a lot easier because they've got the basics in place. Heather says, what's the root issue of sneakiness? Did I create it? You don't have to answer this on here. I'm laughing because I know Heather's daughter. We'll talk about that later, Heather. Sorry, I can just picture it in my mind. Yeah, so those 8 skills, right? Those are what kids need to really build good behavior. If they've got those 8 things down, they're absolutely golden. Okay, so if all that made like total sense to you and you're like, yeah, I need to work on that. A good first step is to go and grab my free scripts for managing crazy-making behavior. It's 11. I always forget the introduction. There's 11 audio recordings. And in each one, I kind of walk you through the stepping back and looking for the root issue because I'm talking about 10 particular, like specific issues. But I'm also helping you back up and see what's going on below the surface when those specific issues rise to the top, right? So, and then that informs the script that I give you for each issue. So they're totally free. I am getting consistent positive feedback about them. They've been out for almost a year and people are still raving at them for me. So if you're looking for a place to start, that, my friends, is there for you. They're totally free, so you've got absolutely nothing to lose. The link for them is up in the description of this video. All right, that is it for tonight. I am going to go and grab a cup of tea because it is freaking freezing. We got our first snow here today, which I know for my friends out in Western Canada, they're going like, we've been having snow for almost a month. But we got our first snow here today and it's cold in my house. So I am actually going to go and put a fire in my wood stove and grab a cup of tea and wait for my baby to be officially 4 so that I can go and sneak him and kind of give him a little birthday kiss. Okay, so that's it, guys. Good night, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.